Hello, so today we're going to be taping an athlete for an AC joint sprain. For this technique, we're going to need Hypafix and Leuco. However, I do not have Leuco on hand, so I'm going to be using AT tape. The technique will be the same. Just make sure if you're doing this for an athlete when they're performing, use Leuco tape. It is a stiffer tape and will yield the results you want. So for this tape technique, we have our athlete just standing normally relaxed at his side. Just relax. We're going to lay Hypafix from about above his nipple, to just below the spine of his scapula. So I can see it here. It's pretty prominent. We're going to go to about here, spanning over his AC joint, which is right here. So to begin, I'm just going to measure my strips. I'm going to grab my roll of Hypafix. And I'm just going to literally...
I can't flip it around.
Okay. We're going to lay... Use your other arm, please.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. So again, just over his nipple, or just above his nipple to just below the spine of his scapula, going over his AC joint, which is right here. So I'm going to measure this out. So it should be about like that much. I'm going to cut it now. So for this, I got my bandage shears, or my scissors rather. This piece of Hypafix is a little narrow, so with the application you can't be too, like you might actually want to use 2 strips of this. The other kind I have is too wide. This is the closest I got, so we're going to be using it. Do you mind just grabbing the end of this tape so it doesn't roll up and crinkle itself before I put it on? Just hold 1/2 so I can take the Hypafix off, or the backing off. Same with the other side, so just switch to the sticky part. There you go. Alrighty. Oh, okay. Now that I have my Hypafix ready, I'm gonna go and clear decap BTLS. Since this doesn't wrap around a joint or anything, we don't need to worry about PMS as much. You can still check it if you'd like. I'm going to do so. So for that, just hold out your arm. Can you wiggle your fingers for me? Do you feel that?
Yep.
And then just squeeze his finger. See the cap refill? Okay. Again, I'm looking at the area of his shoulder we're going to tape on. No open wounds, no lacerations, nothing that would contraindicate tape. Have you been taped before?
Yes.
Are you allergic to tape or sprays?
No.
No? All right, we've cleared everything we need to clear before taping our athlete. So I'm going to just lay this, again, starting above his nipple, spanning his AC. We want to try and come at it as straight as we can. However, that can be tough because you're going to get into his armpit. On a broad-shouldered athlete, it might be a little easier. For this tape job, the good news is, that's going into his axilla, we don't need to worry too much about crinkles in the sense of it's going to just, yeah, that's in the right spot. It's going to just show, it's going to crinkle regardless because of the tension we're applying on the tape. So now that I have that done, I'm going to have my athlete take a seat just so I can get better leverage. Do you mind just sitting here, actually?
Oh,
It's going to be a little awkward to get at it.
The meditation
Yep.
stool.
Yeah, sure. Next, we're going to worry about our actual functional tape. The reason you put the underlay on is because Leuco, the adhesive is so strong it can break down the skin a bit, and if you use this consistently on someone, it can irritate their skin pretty bad. So for this, I'm just going to measure out my strips, like so. A bit longer. Okay. And what we're going to do, there's multiple methods of sort of pushing it down. The goal is to push the clavicle and acromion down, therefore forcing them together, stopping the AC joint sprain. But essentially, you can go front to back, you can go back to front depending on the athlete or your preference, or you can go straight down. For this, I'm going to go just straight down. So for this, I'm using all my weight to apply the pressure on the tape downward over his acromion and clavicle. So, like so. That goes a little past. We're going to do as many of these as we want to do, minimum of 3. Bigger athletes might need more, depending on situation. So I have another strip. This one looks a bit short, so I'm going to chuck it, measure it again. And it's a bit long, so I'm going to take like an inch off. Ripping my tape. Second strip. Ideally, again, I would have wider Hypafix. I do not. you want it a bit wider so you can sort of stagger your strips like this, and then like this for the last one, or 1, 2, and then last one in the middle. I'm gonna go just a little bit wider, just so I'm over the hypofix, but not too far over off the hypofix, so it stays on where it needs to go. Next, I'm going to just do the last one I'm going to do on this athlete. So again, 1, 2, 3. This is the last one we're going to do on our athlete. So again, applying the pressure downward, and we're going to heat mold it all down. Just rub it down. Alrighty. Now we're going to do our functional testing. So the main test for an AC joint sprain is called the scarf test, and we can use this to determine if the tape job is working. So what we're going to have our athlete do is put the affected arm on his shoulder. And what we're going to do is he's going to be basically sliding it back like he's draping a scarf over his back. Yep. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put, when you get your arm to that 90, like that, yeah, I'm going to push down. I want you to meet my resistance, okay? Normally with an AC joint sprain, this would cause pain. To know the tape is working, that pain isn't present, we can take it also a step further by jamming it further back. No. Don't resist. I'm just moving your arm. Yeah. We're going to sort of jamming the acromion and clavicle together. Again, I'm going to push down, just meet my resistance. Okay. Alrighty, so that is good. The other functional thing we have to be aware of for this tape job is, because of the pressure down, it might have a chance of stopping them from going all the way up with their arm at their side. Do you want to just abduct your arm? Like so. So the tape comes off a little bit. That's okay. Just mold it back down. But essentially, we want to make sure that doesn't happen. We want to make sure the athlete can move through the ranges of motion that they need to move to for their sport. So for example, what sport do you play?
Basketball.
Basketball? He would definitely need to get that arm high up. If he's going for a block or a layup, he needs to get that arm up. So the fact that he has full range is important, right? So now that we know he has full range, we're going to be doing our sport-specific functional testing. We're also going to recheck PMS before we do that. Good habit, although we don't need to do that for this tape job. I'm just going to do it for show. So can you wiggle your fingers? Do you feel that?
Yep.
Checking. All right, we're good. So we're going to move on to sport-specific functional testing. So the first thing is fast single-axis movement. So we kind of already cleared that with his abduction. We're going to have him just do that again. Just bring your hand up. How's that feel?
Good.
So we're going to move on to slow multi-axial movements. So what I want you to kind of do with the shoulder, maybe go forward, like for a reach up for your layup, and then like, yeah, alrighty. Just give the shoulder a work, like go up at the side, do like an arm sort of, yeah, there you go. Just work the arm. Now we're going to do a fast one, so do the same thing but a little faster, okay? The next thing we're going to do is balance testing for the arm. So I want you to hold out your hand, just palm up. I want you to keep it there as much as you can. I'm going to try and move it around. Just keep it there, okay? Yeah, I know it's kind of weird, but you got to, it's for balance. It's to make sure, you can hold your hand where it needs to do. The next thing is agility testing. So for that, I'm going to hold my hand out, palm out, and he's got to touch it. Sorry, the camera's. You missed one. You can't play now. Gosh. Alrighty, so we're going to do that. Next, we're going to do, we've declared that. We're going to get him into his equipment. So, yeah, it's basketball. You can do this. We're going to have him go through some sport-specific motions. So what position do you play?
Point guard.
Point guard? What does a point guard do? I'm not very familiar with basketball.
Shoot the ball and pass.
Shoot the ball and pass? Alrighty, so I want you to go through the motion of just a shot. How does that feel?
Good.
Okay, so we're going to move on to with equipment on. So in this case, it's just a shirt. So I would have him do a shot motion with the shirt on or with his equipment on the court. Yeah, he likes his shirt. That's Oscar right there. So now just same thing. Just give me 3 or 5 shots. 1, 2, 3. Still good?
Yep.
Alrighty, the next thing we would do is add a ball to this situation. So I would have him taking shots from various points of the court. We're inside, so I'm not going to have him do that. And then the last step would have him shooting with an opponent. So same thing, sort of shots from different areas, try and score on a defender. And then the last thing would be recreation of the injury or mechanism. For this, it would be putting him, let's say this happened with a foul, he got shoved a little bit and fell on an outstretched hand, or fell on the shoulder itself. We would recreate a situation where that could happen. So someone guarding him tightly, potentially a little more physical than they need to be. And yeah, so that is the tape job, and have a great day.